All right, let's talk about a word that you probably use all the time, karma. But today we're going to peel back the layers on this thing, go way beyond that simple idea of cosmic payback, and get to what it originally meant, which you'll see is actually pretty terrifying. Let's get into it.
You know that phrase, what goes around comes around? We kind of use it to feel better, right? Like there's some justice in the universe. But what if that's not what it's about at all? What if the whole system is actually a trap? For the ancient thinkers in India, karma wasn't a comfort. It was a massive existential crisis that you had to find a way to escape.
And here's the key to the whole thing. Karma was never, ever just about this one life. Nope. It was completely tangled up with this idea of samsara, an endless, relentless, inescapable cycle of death and rebirth. So the point wasn't, oh great, I get another go. It was the horrible realization that you were doomed to live and die and suffer and do it all over again forever. It's a curse.
And the crazy thing is, it's all baked right into the word itself. In Sanskrit, karma didn't just mean your action or the consequences. It meant both the action and the horrific cycle of rebirth it powered. They were one and the same. So every single thing you did wasn't just shaping your next life. It was literally the fuel that kept you chained to this agonizing wheel of existence.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? For these philosophers, the goal was never to get a better rebirth. I mean, being reborn as a king, that was just a fancier prison cell. The only real goal, the only true prize, was to get out, to break the cycle completely, to achieve liberation, to just stop.
So that's the problem, right? If every single thing you do, every thought, every word, every action is what's forging the chains that bind you to this endless suffering, how on earth do you get free? This was the central question that obsessed the great thinkers in a part of India called Greater Magadha. And they came up with some pretty wild solutions.
Okay, so the first major philosophy to really tackle this head-on was Jainism. And their answer to the problem of action, well, it was about as direct and as radical as you can possibly get.
For the Jains, the diagnosis was terrifyingly simple. The problem wasn't just bad actions or negative karma. The problem was any action, period. Good deeds, bad deeds, things you meant to do, things you did by accident, even breathing. Every single thing you do, voluntarily or not, creates this sticky, karmic stuff that gloms onto your soul, weighs it down, and keeps you stuck on that wheel of rebirth.
So, their solution had two pretty intense steps. Step 1, stop making things worse. You have to stop accumulating new karma. And that meant this path of extreme self-denial, eventually leading to a state of absolute stillness. No moving, no talking, nothing. Step 2, you have to deal with all the baggage from your past lives. And how do you do that? You burn it off. The intense suffering and pain of this whole process was thought to literally incinerate your old karmic debt, cleaning the slate so your soul could finally be free.
But right alongside the Jains, a totally different idea was starting to bubble up. A truly revolutionary take on the whole problem, one that would literally change the world: Buddhism. The Buddha came along and offered a completely different diagnosis of the sickness, and with it, a completely different cure.
And this is where everything flips on its head. For the Buddha, the real problem wasn't action itself. It was the reason you were acting. It wasn't what you do that traps you. It's what you want. It's desire, craving, greed, attachment. That was the fuel keeping the fire of suffering going, life after life after life.
So you see, the Buddhist path to freedom isn't about stopping your body. It's about retraining your mind. It's a psychological project. You use tools like meditation and mindfulness to see the world clearly. And when you do, that fire of desire just goes out. And karma gets a total makeover. It's not about the physical act anymore. It's all about the intention behind the act. You don't have to stop the machine, you just have to rewrite the software.
Okay, so you have these new, disruptive movements like Jainism and Buddhism. But what about the establishment? The traditional priestly order, the Brahmins? They couldn't just ignore this incredibly powerful new idea of karma. So they did what powerful institutions always do. They found a way to absorb it, to fit it into their own system.
Their solution was really clever and a bit of a mind-bender. They basically said, look, the person you think you are, this body, this personality, these thoughts, that's not your real self.
Your true self, what they called the Atman, is something else entirely. It's eternal, it's unchanging, and here's the key, it is fundamentally inactive. It's just a pure, silent witness to everything. It doesn't act, so it can't create karma.
And this idea is captured perfectly in this super famous line from the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is basically telling the warrior Arjuna, look, you have to act. You have to go out there and do your duty in the world. But you have to do it with total detachment. You act without being attached to whether you win or lose, succeed or fail. By knowing that your true self is just watching, you can move through the world and do what you have to do without getting any new karmic dirt on you.
So there you have it, 3 brilliant and totally different solutions. You've got the Jain path of stopping action, the Buddhist path of changing your mind, and the Brahmanical path of detached duty. But all of them, in their own way, leave us with this one final, really deep and nagging philosophical problem. Let's just call it the karma accountant problem. How does this whole system of cosmic justice actually get enforced? I mean, really, think about it. If you do a good deed today, and it's supposed to lead to a good result, maybe in a life thousands of years from now, what's the mechanism? Who or what is keeping the books? Is there some cosmic bookkeeper tracking every single action for every single soul across all of time to make sure the consequences match up perfectly? How does that work?
What's so amazing is that the ancient thinkers knew this was a problem. They basically admitted it. They said that the precise way karma works is mysterious, that it's so complex that maybe even the gods themselves can't fully figure it out. It wasn't this simple A plus B equals C equation. It was a profound mystery at the very heart of their own system.
So we've gone from karma as a simple pop culture phrase to this incredibly deep system for trying to escape an eternal prison. But we're left with a question that's just as profound today as it was 2,500 years ago. If every one of our actions has consequences that ripple out across lifetimes, who or what is keeping the ledger?